So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Country Investor. My name is Robert. If this is your first time tuning in this video, we're going to go over stress and how it had significant health issues for me in my life. So stay tuned. All right, guys. So to go ahead and get into this story, so it's going to start off, I was about 25 years old. I received an offer from an employer. Not going to mention any names, but I got an offer from an employer making really good money. Making six figures. For those of y'all who are curious, it's six figures. At this time, I already have a little side business that I'm creating. And of course, the job. So I was making probably well over 200, maybe even $250,000 a year between my side hustles and the job. A bulk of it was coming from my job, which was very intensive, very stressful. We'll get into that here shortly. But shortly after that, probably after, I would say after about 6 months being there, I started having issues. One, I was gaining weight, which those of y'all who know, stress causes, health issues. And in this case, it was weight gain for one. Two, I started having really bad freaking chest pains, man. To the point where I would be sitting there in bed, just watching TV, reading a book, doing something, and all of a sudden my chest would just freaking hurt. I was like, holy crap. And at this time I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, man, she was my girlfriend at this time. I was like, dude, I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Like, I'm way too young to be having a freaking heart attack or, heart issues, things like that. I was like, what is going on? Whew. So I still remember the pain. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it. I mean, I would just grab my chest because I hurted so much. Another thing I started having was like numbness, tingling in like my arms and my legs. And I know those are signs of stroke. So I'm sitting here, 25, 26 years old, like, what is going on? I really didn't realize it at the time, but I was really stressed. I was really unhappy at the job, not in my everyday life, just in the job in general. It was just so much stress, so much having to watch your back. The employees, for the most part, sucked. They're always trying to get people in trouble, so you're always having to watch your back. Management sucked. I mean, you guys may be able to relate to this stuff, but management sucked. There was, favoritism. What else? We ended up having another manager get fired for basically cussing at employees. You name it, it probably happened there. Like, we got into some altercations, me and a previous boss, the one that ended up getting fired. We had some altercations there, not physical, but verbal, getting each other's face, stuff like that. They brought in a new manager. Nothing changed. If anything, it was a woman. She was more clueless than anything else. So it didn't help the situation. Changing the managers didn't help the situation because we were still, very chaotic. And when things happen, they come, they funnel down. And I wasn't at the top of the food chain, so I get the bottom crumbs of what's left, or the harder punishments. Me and my employees, or my coworkers. So again, it was just very stressful. Things would come down on us, and then once we get in trouble, quote unquote, in trouble, or written up, it creates more stress. And the managers couldn't really tell us how to do things because they didn't know how to do things. So they would just expect us to figure it out, or, pretty much just figure it out, do it on your own. So again, that creates tension between employees. And then now you have employees trying to basically tattletale to try to get in the good blessings of those managers, which creates more stress. So besides that, I mean, it was also a lot of documentation, just a lot of redundancy that got implemented once, things happened there, which created a lot of redundancy. And and then I started speaking up, started going to HR and discussing the issues I was having there, which placed a target on my back. Because in this case, no employer wants an employee who's going to rebel or do something that they're told to do, even though the employee doesn't think it's correct. They don't want you to question none of that. Let's be honest. Like, that doesn't make a good employee. An employee that they want, or an employer typically wants, again, this is for most cases, not all, they typically want somebody who's just a yes-em, just do as you say, do as you're told, don't ask questions. That would be the ideal employee for most companies. I wasn't that employee. So, and in their book, I think I was a bad employee because I wouldn't take no BS really. So I started putting a target on my back, and I started getting written up. I noticed after I was going to HR, discussing my issues, I noticed that it had eyes a little bit more on me. So in a way, I felt like I was pushed out. So again, all this time, I was there for about 3 years. All this time, it creates stress. And like I said, I was having these chest issues, just pain and numbness and headaches, just moody all the freaking time, man. My fiance now, she's my fiance, she's like, you are a totally different person from where you were almost 2 years ago since leaving that job. And I agree. I'm much happier. I appreciate every freaking day of life, man. It's changed my whole outlook. And for those of y'all who are watching, money is not everything. What I did was basically from college, pretty much work my way up, just jumping around to job to job to job, just trying to get the most amount of money I could get. And that's where you may be able to look at it two different ways. So I may have screwed up, or I may have advanced myself. So without having that kind of income, I wouldn't be able to buy the rental properties and invest as heavily as I did. But also, did I take off any years of my life is what I'm looking at now because of all that stress. So depending on how you want to look at it, I really don't know. I'll leave it for you guys to interpret. But yeah, so in the end, it's not really worth it, in my opinion, because if you can find something that doesn't pay trash, but isn't the highest paying, but if you can find something in the middle that you can still do a pretty comfortable living and still be happy and not have stress, then I would go with that. But eventually you would like to leave the rat race, right? That's the motive of this channel, is to try to help people leave the rat race. It's not easy, it's hard, we get comfortable, and it's unknown. We're scared of the unknown as human beings. Most of us are scared of the unknown. Some people have a piqued curiosity of the unknown, but a majority of us like to be comfortable. We like to know we're going to be getting a paycheck every 2 weeks or every week or monthly, whatever. But yeah, so since leaving that job, things have changed drastically for me. Like I said, my whole mood has changed. I'm much happier. I'm much more thankful. My mind is clearer. I can think better. My chest pains have gone away. It's been approaching almost 2 years with no chest pains, no tingling in the arm, tingling in the legs. My weight is better now. I work out every mornings. I run. I'm able to take care of my health and myself a lot more now, not having a job, than I ever have been. So if you don't have one of these already, I would recommend you getting one of these things. I'll leave it down in the description for anyone who's interested. But this one's a Garmin, but there's multiple brands out there that do this. And they keep track of your heart rate, your stress. Stress is what we're mainly concerned with, right? But for instance, I had it when I was working there. And this thing was going off. I mean, it was, I don't know if y'all tells y'all that, but it'll be like, slow down, heart rate, whatever. This thing was always going off. And I would remember I'd be in around 70s, 80s, 70 to 80% stress level while working at this place. Now, I don't know if all jobs are this stressful, but I know they have increased in stress because of the shortage of employees. I can see, this is kind of off topic, but I can see when I go into places how stressed people are. I've seen waitresses, just overwhelmed, and you can tell they go to the back and cry because they'll be missing for a period of time, and they come back, and you can tell when people cry, and you can just tell the overwhelmingness of a lot of employees. So that's why it's important to get out of the rat race, I feel, because how many years are you taking off your life by putting out with the crap, putting out with the BS? So yeah, since leaving, I've done a lot more thinking. Like I said, I can think clearer, and I can relate to these people that I see working because I've been there. I was that person. Maybe not that specific job, but I know exactly how they feel. So I can relate to them, and I see it, and I just feel like talking to them, but it's not my place to really, talk to them, I guess. So I don't feel comfortable doing that. But yeah, I just want to jump out of my seat and just like talk to them, but I can't. So going back to the stress thing, like I said, after leaving, my whole life just did a complete 360. It completely turned around for the better. It hasn't been easy as far as like financially. It's been a little bit harder trying to adjust finances because I had the side business income and I had the job income. So now I'm just having to rely on the side income finances. But we have been able to build more income for ourselves from the side hustles or the businesses, which we wouldn't have been able to do having a full-time job. Um, but yeah, so like I said, it's helped me out with my relationships for as far as my girlfriend, fiance. But shortly after, I would say a couple months after, things were just going so well after leaving the job that we ended up getting engaged. I mean, we were just so much happier. We were in a better place since leaving that job because I feel like it was creating stress between our relationship because I was stressed, and bringing that into the relationship creates problems. And we weren't, fighting or fist fighting or anything like that. It was just, I would just be moody. I think it was me. I would just be moody because I was just so unhappy. And since then, it's been approaching 2 years, and things have just been tremendously great. As far as I know, as far as I can tell, everything has been tremendously great in the relationship. It's changed that whole dynamic of the relationship for the better. Now we're on the same page. We are just working together. Things have just gone in the right direction since leaving. Another thing is my mental space is just so much clearer. I can think better. I can, look into the future a little bit more now and see where I want to take my life. I have more control of my life now versus being tied down to a job. I've focused more attention onto YouTube. I've grown my YouTube channels. I started off with, I think, like 30 subscribers when I left the place. I wasn't posting videos regularly on YouTube for about a year. And I just started this year posting videos again regularly. And we've grown the channel to over, I think, almost 1,200 subscribers. So, 1,100 and something subscribers pretty much in the last couple months. Is when I started getting serious again with YouTube on this channel. The other channel I have also, we've grown that one to over 1,600 subscribers. Again, it's not a huge channel, but it's way better than what it would have been if I was still stuck at 30 subscribers when I was still employed, because I didn't have as much time. Another thing with that job was we'd have vacations planned, and then all of a sudden, a week before or something like that, you'd be asked to change your vacation because, now you're scheduled to work. That creates stress. That creates problems in a relationship. Because again, my girlfriend at the time, she was looking forward to going on these trips, these vacations. And then I'm telling her, oh, I can't go anymore because I got to go to work. And so work puts your life on hold. It creates issues in the relationship in this case. And then not only that, but it also creates, financial stress because now you just paid for all this stuff. And now there's a good chance you may not get 100% refunded on every single thing you bought for the vacation. So, yeah, I mean, I've been blessed to be in this position where I am today. I am thankful. I am humbled. Like I said, I give all grace to God, to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys are religious, but I really am. I've become more religious. That's another thing. I do a lot more praying today than I did back then when I should have been praying, right? But I take more time out to just give thanks, pray, and it's definitely humbled me. And now I have two different perspectives, two different ways to look at things versus, being an employee, non-employee. You look at things a lot differently. You look at life a lot differently. Now whenever I hear people say, oh, I can't go because I have to work, or they called me into work or whatever, which was always, where I found myself. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we'd be going out. Then all of a sudden I get a call. I have to go into work, drop everything, take off to work. I mean, that's just inconvenient as hell. So, and of course I would do it. But, yeah, now I look at things and I'm like, you know what? Screw that job. Screw that job, because you know what? That job doesn't care if, you die tomorrow. They don't care if you leave. They don't necessarily care about you as an individual. Who does care about you is going to be your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife, your dad, your mom, your sister, your brothers, and your family. That's who's going to care about you. The job doesn't give a crap about you. You're replaceable. You're a number. You're part of the system. You're part of the mechanical system, for lack of a better word. They don't care. So looking now in hindsight, I'm like, man, you know what? I should have said, screw that. Screw it, and just enjoy my time with my girlfriend or whatever, instead of just dropping everything and going to work. Because again, that's not time you can just get back. And I'm sure if I would have, put them against the wall, either they would have just said, well, F you, you're fired, or they would have just found somebody else, right? One or the other would have happened. But I understand people were, you have bills to pay, you have kids to feed, wife, you have all that. But that should be a motivator for you to do more in your life. Again, looking in hindsight where I am today, that should be a motivator to do more because of those obligations. Because again, I don't have kids, but kids are going to grow up. You're not going to get to see your kid again at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. It comes once in their life and once in your life with that particular kid, right? So yeah, I guess that's going to be my quick little rant about that. Just wanted to kind of give you my story and how stress and a job affected my life. And since then, I've been able to regain my life and control my life again since leaving that and being my own boss and just, taking care of my businesses that I have going on. So if anyone is interested in my businesses, I will leave it down below in the description. I do Airbnbs and I have just rental properties. And I do some other investing and then, of course, YouTube. But yeah, if you guys are interested, the links will be down below. We are called Geodomes of South Texas. I will leave it down below. We have 5-star reviews so far. Thank God, right? But we try our best. We really want to make people happy. More so now because I know what it's like to have a job. And a lot of people who come out here, this is also another tangent, but a lot of people who come out here have to take time off of work just to come out and experience. They're using their hard-earned money to come out here and experience what me and my fiance and my dad and my uncle have created out here, because all of them helped me out with this. They're taking their hard-earned money to come spend it out here with us. So I want to make sure we provide a good environment, because I know what it's like being an employee. I've been there. It sucks. And I can only imagine, these people just want to get away. They don't want to be screwing around with work. They don't want to think about work. So that's the environment we try to provide. Like I said, because I've been there. But yes, all that will be down below. You can check it out. And we're just going to go ahead and leave it right there. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up. If you would like to see more content like this, leave a thumbs up or comment. And yeah, share with anyone who may have some stress-induced issues. Again, if you have any stress-induced issues as well, leave it down in the comments as well. I'm interested to see, how people have been affected by stress. But yeah, until next time, guys, be careful, be good, take care, and God bless. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.